Stupid. He is hustling. Tell him to turn the TV. I can't see it. 10-4, you're missing a good one here. That's the best thing that's happened all year, looks like. Who's the payback? I hope it's filming for somebody if I can see it later.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to what is sure to be one of the most amazing nights of racing that we will have here in the Rat Fink Racing League. As tonight, these drivers in the Next Gen Cup Series try to tackle Miles the Monster here at Dover Speedway. Alongside me tonight's not going to be not just one other commentator, but I've got two other ones with me. Tonight I've got Cody Massey and John Stapleton. Cody, how we doing?
Man, doing good, feeling way better, looking forward to an eventful night tonight. The Monster Mile is no joke. We are bound to see a show for sure, Brandon.
We are going to see a show for sure. And John, when I take a look at this race and what Miles the Monster's been able to do over the years with what we've seen at Chicagoland last week, what's the expectation for tonight?
Oh, man, some loose race cars, that's for sure. Watching these guys, there's nothing else to say about it. Controlling outside of the corner. This is going to be a slick on exit, not just out of 2, but out of 4 as well. Making sure you can make the pass. You also got the fuel strategy to come in with 66%.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild night tonight. John, I know we've had a wild last couple of weeks, but I look at tonight and right now, the weather shows to be a solid 81 degrees with a 25% humidity, but I look at that track temp and well, that track temp's 107, and that means these cars are going to be loose, just like you said. The drivers are in their qualifying states, as we can see, but right now the keys to victory is going to be fuel management, as 63% tanks will force multiple stops. But only 3 sets of tires is going to be available for these drivers, and saving one of those for a late race restart, that's a tongue twister, could be the difference. It's going to be an absolutely amazing night, and I'm super excited for it. And I'm pumped. I hope you guys are pumped and ready to go.
I'm ready to go, Brandon.
They say double trouble. I don't want to know what they say about triples, let me tell you.
Tonight's going to be wild.
It's going to be a fun night.
It's going to be a great night, guys. But right now, we want to pay tribute to our men and women of our armed forces, those that are currently serving and those that have since retired or went on to be, to the other side, I guess you could say. But right now we want to play our national anthem, and we'll get right back to the live action here at Dover International Speedway.
To honor America with the performance of the national anthem, 8-time Grammy Award winner, Chris Stapleton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular up on first, singing out, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I tell you, that's one of the most amazing renditions of the national anthem that I've ever heard in my life. But I'm going to tell you, tonight's going to be an absolutely amazing night. I take a look at the scoring tower, and right now we know Jonathan Crosby set the quickest time. Tom Ringer just about what would be 100th off of him. Ira Kohlhaas currently sitting third. We're slated for 145 laps tonight, Cody. What is your take on what will be a very slick concrete racetrack?
I mean, that's it, Brandon. I expect a lot of loose. I expect, some dangerous action coming in and out of the pit road. The track's hot. Tire wear is going to be a thing. Fuel management, understanding when to use the right strategy. But, I think one really important thing about this race tonight is going to be patience and making sure you don't get caught up in the mess, right? Because the thing about Dover is you could be the greatest there is, or you could be a rookie. And if you drive smart, you never know what's going to happen, right?
Absolutely. And we know that Miles is just out here itching to bite somebody. But when I take a look at this qualifying board, John, one name that's kind of sticking out to me that I'm not seeing signed in, and that's Waltz.
Man, that is the second week who will not make the race. Now, this is where these other drivers are looking at that points leader and licking their lips, because this is a great opportunity for a lot of people to gain points on our number one points leader.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you, I see a couple guys not signed in. We know Tross is not signed in, and a couple of these other guys, but nonetheless,
Starter either.
Yeah. But nonetheless, Jonathan Crosby will set on pole. Outside of him is going to be Tom Ringer in the 68. Starting third tonight in the number one is going to be the Woodlawn native Ira Kohlhaas. Starting fourth is going to be Mike Hardy. Fifth is going to be Ryan Philbrick. Starting sixth, it's going to be Chuck Burley. Starting seventh, it's going to be the 94 of Cole Morton. We see him start towards the front of these packs. I expect a good run out of him. Starting in the eighth position tonight is going to be Judson Curtis. Starting ninth, it's going to be Jonathan McIntosh. Starting 10th, it's going to be Sean Dion. Starting 11th, it's going to be John Massey. Starting 12th, it's going to be David Esky. And I'll see if I can get the rest of them pulled up here, and I will. Brian Souza, in fact, I believe is how you pronounce his name. I think he shot me a thing on it last week, but if I butchered again, Brian, I'm sorry, but he will roll off 13th. Brandon Hinton, 14th. Chris Wagner will round out this 15-car field as these drivers do look to get gridded up. I tell you, one guy I want to keep an eye on tonight, man, is going to be Ira Kohlhaas. I'm going to tell you why. Ira is not at home. He's actually at his brother's house, and he's in someone else's sim rig. So I want to keep an eye on him to see how things work out for him tonight.
Talk about dedication, man. We love it out here.
So as these guys grid, I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you with all the action here live from the Dover International Speedway.
God, I gotta pay attention.
Welcome back, race fans. The lights is going to be out on the iRacing pace car, so I believe they're going to be going green this time. Jonathan Crosby is going to lead this field down. But I tell you, we know Tom Ringer, guys. He told us a couple weeks ago he's excited about the rest of this schedule, or at least the upcoming part of the schedule. And well, starting outside pole is going to be a really good starting position, John.
Yeah, Brandon, I think I'm going to have to – that's going to be my pick to win. He's consistently running up front. We know he's got a fast car. I was right last week. Let's hope it carries over for him this week.
Yeah, as the iRacing pace car is going to dip off here for what's going to be 145 laps, and we are underway here live from Dover, and you can see Jonathan Crosby just jumps out. Big – we got some crashes going on, guys.
Right off the green, Brandon.
That hot concrete.
Let's see if we can
striking.
Figure out what
right
happened
there in the
here.
middle of the pack.
So this is going to be coming to the green. Well, I'm not sure. Let's rewind all this.
To me, it looks like the second row spun their tires at the exact same time.
Yeah, I mean, let me see if I can get a different camera angle. I'm not sure what happened. I'm gonna go on board Ira here. Let's see. We know the outside line spins the tires. Yeah, I mean, everybody spun their tires.
They both got loose. Yep.
Miles the Monster, Cody, has already bit 5 of these guys.
I mean, not even a quarter lap into the race, Brandon. You saw it right there. That hot concrete is going to be a beast this evening. And now what's going to be interesting about this is going to reshake up a start off here with those cars spinning out. I mean, they're going to have to go into the pit early, get some repairs, as you can see there. It's a turn of events right out the gate.
I mean, we see Philbrick, Wagner, Hinton, Curtis, Kohlhaas, Dion, all on pit road. What shows to be 6 cars down there now. I tell you, it even looked like to me Ringer even spun the tires, as I see a little bit of damage on the right front of his race car. Let me see if I can actually get, and you can see it right there, guys. There's a wrinkle in that race car.
It does look like minimal damage, though. He's got time. He does not have to use his fast repair when he decides to pit. He could use it, maybe lose a little bit off the leader, or maybe lose a position, but that damage won't affect him in the long run.
Yeah, there's still going to be a lot of laps left to go. In fact, we see a very quick caution to start this thing. And I tell you, that's been kind of a Rat Fink style thing. We see pretty quick cautions early, 1, 2, and then this thing is liable to go green plumb to the finish. So we'll see how the rest of this race shakes out as we see Crosby, Ringer, Morton, McIntosh, John Massey, new to the series, as you can see right there, top 5. Last week, I tell you, one guy last week, John, that surprised me and Cody as well was the guy in the 60 car. I tell you, we touched on him, man, just a little bit. One of the better looking race cars we think out here, was able to bring it home second, but we thought he was going to get the win.
Yeah, just going back, car losing fuel. What is a dramatic race? If you guys haven't seen it, I do recommend checking it out. One of the best finishes I've seen. Anticipation, expect for the last 10 laps. But yeah, man, he knows where to be at the end of the race, and he seems to be up there towards the front of the race right now as well.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and you know, Brandon,
Yep.
Brian's currently sitting 3 in pole standings, or excuse me, point standings right now, and Hinton, who was involved in that early caution, setting in 2nd in point standings right now. And you know, both of those guys are gunning for that first place.
yeah, they
spot.
are. And in fact, I tell you, our points leader in Tyler Watts has not signed in tonight, nor was the race winner last week, Bradley Carter, nor is Jordan Trask. So right now, it's all up to these drivers that signed in tonight. Well, it's up to them to be able to gain on that lead position in the points. But right now, Jonathan Crosby's going to lead this field back to green. And in fact, worried about tire spin, much better start through the field.
Looks like we got another one.
My goodness gracious.
So let's back up here. I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble even getting it. It looked like Chuck Burley was involved. So let's see if we can figure out. You see Chuck's down there in the 4 car. Uh-oh, the 8 just
Oh no.
flat just. So let me find the 8 car. That was John Massey. So let's back up here a little bit. I want to go on board. I want to see what gear these drivers are trying to start in that's causing this. He's in 2nd. Yeah, just spun the tires. Then all calamity breaks out.
These cars have so much torque. It's so easy to do that, especially like we said at the beginning, the heat in this track makes it even harder.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that we're going to keep an eye on all night long, right? It's going to be the track temp. We know it's hot. Right now, these drivers are struggling to find tire grip to get this race underway. And right now, Miles has bit 2/3 the field, Cody.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that, again, I mean, I'm going to say it probably several times throughout the night, but that shakes things up, right? Because that's going to move a lot of those guys that had that first caution right back up into the middle of the track, including Hinton, including Kohlhaas, right? So, again, shaking things up, coming off the 3rd. Now, I do think these guys they're gonna figure it out, right? So I would say, and listen, I could be wrong, but I would say coming out of the 2nd caution, we start to see them figure it out, maybe not see those tire spins as early on, and we can get into some green lap racing here.
Yeah, we want to see some green flag racing. It's been a very difficult start to this race, but one thing that we talked about last week when we was at Chicagoland, and we'll talk about it tonight, is Dover likes to chew these drivers up, spit them out every way possible, and that's just what Miles does. As you can see there, Jonathan Crosby really testing how to get the car to fire off. This hot track temperature, man, is just going to be absolutely insane. Now, I tell you, one guy that's been really, really consistent, runs around the top 5, was set back-to-back poles at what was Kentucky and Bristol, is going to be this 94 car of Cole Morton. He's going to pay dividend to every single bit of this, and is going to be able to restart on the outside of Crosby on this next restart.
Well, 8 laps into this race, gentlemen, and I don't know that we've seen one full lap yet. So I look forward to seeing what happens coming off of this 2nd caution right here. You know, Crosby looking strong both times. Morton looking strong, right? And so behind Crosby and Morton, I think everybody else is mixed up from those first 2 cautions.
Yeah, I think so too. As you can see right now, it shows to me that Brandon Hinton, there he comes, is rolling off of pit lane. What a beautiful looking race car that is. I love the collars on that car. Brandon always brings really good looking race cars to the racetrack. He does a really good job. See Dion back here. He's coming off pit road. So is Burley, McIntosh, Hardy. You see all these guys trying to catch the field here. So we're gonna
tell you what, I'm excited for lap 9.
Yeah. I tell you, the pace car's off. Crosby's gonna lead them down here. Oh, Crosby spins the tires. That's going to allow Cole Morton to assume the lead here. As Crosby spun the tires, we've seen that be a factor. Now we're up and rolling. Cole Morton is actually going to be able to clear off of that, and that's going to allow him to assume the lead here, Cody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, not a small one either. You know, I mean, anything can happen, right? But he's got a good gap on Crosby right there. As we just see, there is a battle right now between Crosby and Ringer. Looks like Ringer's going to try to get up on him fairly quickly.
He is.
So coming out of that caution, this is looking good, Brandon. We got some good laps going here. I think they've started to figure it out. My guess was right coming off of that second caution.
Yeah, in fact, Ringer's going to take over what's going to be now the second place, John, as Crosby's going to fall to third. As we can see, there's battles all through this field here.
Yeah, and it looks like here Ringer's cut down that lead pretty good now. And now Ringer's starting to get a little bit comfortable.
Yeah,
Crosby right behind him.
Yeah, I think one thing that we're going to want to keep an eye on, though, is going to be tire wear. How quick do you want to go? How fast do you want to be? It's going to be a matter of what you're willing to sacrifice early to sacrifice late. I think track position here at the Monster Mile is going to be a thing that we talk about throughout the race. But right now, Ringer's looking for the lead.
And he takes it just like that, moving into the first place position. You know, it looks like Ringer's not really hugging that inside, going around those turns. You can see he's kind of staying middle of the track. What do you think about that, John?
I think it's a smart idea. That apron is a very dangerous thing here at Dover with the degree and how it changes in the banking of the track. You touch that apron, you're going for a ride.
You will go for a ride, and right now Ringer is showing the way for the rest of these drivers on how to get it done. I want to go through and look at some of these other battles back here. You can see Cole Haas was one of those drivers that spun the tires, sitting 7th right now. Just starting to settle in. You see this pack behind him's got Hinton and Group. We got kind of like two packs of racing. You got this front pack here. It's kind of spread out just a little bit. You see these 3 cars battling for position here, but then you have Ringer, Crosby. Ringer's got about a second lead over the field. Again, I think Cody, I think tire wear, right, is going to be a key.
Yeah, I mean 100%, Brandon. Think about it, right? The track's 107 degrees, right? It's melting that rubber, and the harder they push, the faster that rubber burns, right? I think tire wear is going to be huge. Kind of curious to see when we start to see some strategy come in, right? But these drivers are going to know when those tires start to wear off.
As you can see here, John, this battle rages on for what's going to be the 9th position. All these guys looking to get inside the top 10. Right now, you got Wagner, Massey, Eske. He's looking to make a move right there. As you can see right now, the one guy struggling is going to be the 8 car of John Massey.
Let me tell you what, though. Round of applause involved in that little first caution. Hinton's moved his way up to 8th right in front of him.
Yeah, Hinton's on the hunt for the front. And in fact, you can see these drivers are doing this really aggressive diamond style kind of rotate on the entry, right? They're entering, letting the car ride up through the center of the corners and then pinching off those exits. That's normal Dover style racing, as you can see exactly what I'm talking about right there. They've got try to get that straight drive off. In fact, Hinton is about 3 seconds behind Kohlhaas right now. No change up front, though, Cody. Ringer's still showing the way.
Ringer showing the way right now. You know, coming up on the 20th lap of this race, Brandon, we got Ringer leading out front, the 73 and Crosby. In 3rd, we got Morton. 4th place, we got Curtis. 5th place, the number 60 machine, Sousa. In 6th place, we do have Philbrick. 7th place is going to be Ira Kohlhaas. In 8th place, Hinton. 9th place, Wagner. And rounding out the top 10, we have the number 55 machine in Eske. Looks like a battle right there, though. Look at that battle for 10 and 11 right there.
Yeah, right now the battle for 10th position's raging on as Chuck Burley will assume that position and take over what will be the 10th position. A battle I want to keep an eye on the racetrack right now is going to be these 3 guys. These 3 guys for about the last 5 laps, John, have been all over top of each other.
Yeah, and this is the best kind of. This is the Dover racing we love to see, up close and personal, like bump. I'm sure later in the race we're going to see some bumping, but right now I love the way these guys are just trying to figure out their cars. They're still learning, even on lap 21, to find themselves to make moves and see what their car can do.
Yeah, really high and wide and handsome exit right there for Brian Souza. That's going to allow Kohlhaas in 81 to assume that what will be now 6th position. Now, Ira actually started, I believe, this race in the 3rd position, and so he's hunting himself back towards the front in a great-looking race car provided by Warpaint Wraps. But I'll tell you who else brings good race cars, good-looking race cars, going to be this guy right here. He paints for Ratfink Graphic, I believe it is, and he's always in the paint booth providing really good race cars and really high-quality paints is Chuck Burley. I want to see, there's Hinton. Right now, it looks like to me, Cody, this field's starting to spread out. The lead has since closed a little bit. Crosby's in within about 7/10.
So that's what I was about to say, Brandon. You know, it's interesting because Ringer and Crosby are kind of pulling away as Curtis is about just over 2 seconds off of the pace. But one thing to note is just about 6 laps ago, there was about a second difference between Ringer and Crosby. And you can see Crosby's cut that quite a bit, all the way down to less than about a third of a second.
Yeah, and one thing that I mentioned was sacrifice early to sacrifice late. We seen Ringer shoot out of a gun, almost like out of a gun, and just very, very quickly. I want to say, John, that's probably heated those tires up and made them angry.
Yeah, you're not lying. You know what I'm keeping an eye on, though? My future. I'm thinking about Ringer's front end right now. He's definitely leading this race. He's got a comfortable lead with Crosby right behind him. That when he has to go to pit, how much damage is that front end going to take to repair?
Yeah, that's one thing, John, that we're going to have to keep an eye on. And I wonder if that right front damage is the cause of maybe the tire wear that we're seeing potentially in what is Tom Ringer right now. As you can see, here's Philbrick. He's been able to find himself inside the top 5. Cole Morton has since lost a position to Judson Curtis right here. As you can see, these 4 drivers all within a shoot of each other. Then you get back here, Hinton very quickly closing in on Brian Souza. I believe he does. In fact, Souza has some right front damage, so he has found the wall on one of these exits, I believe, Cody.
I mean, yeah, that's some noticeable damage right there on the front right corner of that car. But we are continuing to see these cars start to space out a little bit. Now, another key thing, I'm kind of keeping an eye on these times, Brandon, and I want to note, if you look at Kohlhaas and in front, right? Kohlhaas just a few laps ago was about 4 seconds off of pace. He's cut that all the way down to about 2 3/4. And so we're starting to see 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 start to make up that time on the leader.
Yeah, I think that's just going to be a matter of, in fact, Ringer has since been passed by Jonathan Crosby. I want to take a look at that, see what happened to Ringer. So right here's going to be the pass for the lead. Yeah, you can see Ringer's just struggling with an ill-handling race car, I believe.
Yeah, that was almost some close contact. Good on Crosby to pick up awareness and avoid that contact.
So strategy, when we think about this race, we know these drivers only have 66% fuel, I believe, isn't it, John? And so that being the case, strategy is going to be a factor here, as well as only having 3 tire changes available. As we can see, this battle right here is starting to heat up for what looks to be 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th.
Yeah, it looks like we have about 113 laps to go, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see, as we look like somebody here is about to enter pit. It looks like Massey be the one to go into pit. Is he the start of the cycle?
Well, I'm not sure if he's the start of the cycle or not, but he did have an ill-handling race car. But I think right now these guys are going to run as long as they possibly can. But I tell you, you're absolutely right, Cody. From about Kohaas up, that lead is shrinking somewhat and is about a little over 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting right here is third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, as you can see right there, they're all within about a half second of each other. And we're going to start to see a battle right there between Curtis, Philbrick, and Kohaas. One thing I am curious that John said just a moment ago, right, is when are we going to start to see those pits? Now, we're 34 laps into this. We have a few drivers that pitted early, right, but I'm sure tires wasn't top of their mind. But how long is Crosby going to push before he makes that decision? Because it's very obvious at this point that the five behind him is starting to make up that time.
Yeah, they are starting to make up some time, and I feel like right now this side-by-side action with what's going to be Philbrick and Curtis is actually maybe hurting Kohaas just a little bit. So these guys need to figure it out. But I tell you right now, Cole Morton's bringing the heat to Tom Ringer.
Yep,
Yeah,
and there
Ringer
you see. Yep.
Continues to drop back, losing another position.
I begin to wonder just exactly how much of that damage on the right front nose of Ringer's car is actually hurting the handling of that car. Now, right now, the lead shows to be about 2.25 seconds from Crosby to Morton. Now it's time to settle in here and start to try to reel in that leader, but Crosby has extended it just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that battle right there between 4, 5, and 6 definitely did slow them down a little bit. As you can see, they were about 2.33 second off, and now they're well over that 3-second mark as those guys continue to battle it out. It looks like Ringer's going to lose possibly another position as he does right there. Philbrick's going to take over for that third spot, and Curtis and Kohaas are going to be right on Ringer's tail.
Yeah, right now we see Ringer is headed completely the wrong direction. Jonas Kohaas is going to get a beautiful run here and will clear for what's now going to be the 5th position with Tom Ringer in tow. And in fact, you can just see that closing distance between those cars, John. We can see Kohaas is starting to put the pressure on Ringer here and has now got up to the back bumper of that green machine. Now, if you're Kohaas here, Cody, you don't want to spend a lot of time trying to get around him. You want to set up your move and make it timely to try to get around him so those leaders doesn't get too far out in front of you.
Your move, Brandon, right there. You said it, and I think Ringer knows. Ringer's doing just a professional job right now, knowing that his car is not able to keep up right now, knowing that, that he's got some issues going on. He's not really giving these guys a lot of fight right now. He's understanding of his situation. I'm just wondering, I think we're probably going to see a pit from him soon. We're 41 laps into this race. I think he's going to have to make a decision shortly. When is he going to go ahead and get in and get that thing repaired? Because at this point, he's losing several spots, a lot of time. But as it sets right now, Crosby continues to pull away with Morton in the second place, now over 3 seconds behind the leader.
Right now, Brandon Hinton on the upper end of the strategy. As you can see, that 29 is headed backwards as well. Hinton was last on pit road, John, about lap 7. How do you think that's going to shake up his strategy in comparison to Crosby Morton, who still hasn't been on pit road?
Yeah, right now it's still pretty early in the race. I'm pretty sure he's still riding. It's going to be weird to see how his strategy plays out, especially with the contact and the cautions and the repairs he had earlier. But man, I'm excited to see it.
Right now, the lead has stayed steady for the last couple laps. I've been keeping an eye on the time, and right now it's been about 3 seconds from Crosby to Morton. But I tell you, the gap that is starting to slowly start to come together is going to be Philbrick. He's starting to reel in Morton for second.
Yeah, it looks like we got right at about a half second between second and third place right there. Morton's going to try to hold steady Philbrick doing a fantastic job making up that time. And then in fourth place, we got about a second difference. So I think the battle right now is going to shape up to be between Morton and Philbrick for that second and third spot. We are seeing some pitting happen right now, though, Brandon, with Curtis, Hardy, and Wagner taking in the pits. So we're going to start to see some pit strategy coming shortly.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some pit cycles start to play out. Now, I want to say for the front runners right now, the fastest guy on the racetrack is Ryan Philbrick in that third position. In fact, his last time by was about a tenth and a half quicker than the two cars in front of him. Right now, though, the top, say, 4 cars still running in the 24-second lap times. The only other car I see currently doing that is going to be Chuck Burley down in the 8th position. My question, though, John, is when does this pit window open and what's going to be the call?
Yeah, I can tell you what, until I see these leaders pit right now, I just don't know. I don't know how much they can give. It's just like Chicagoland, baby. We didn't know how far they could make it. We got to see these leaders go in. And once we see Crosby go in, we'll know our window, and we can go in and access that from there.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. Now, if this was me, Cody, here's what I'm thinking. I want to get on off pit road before that 73 of Jonathan Crosby does, because I want to try to make up a little bit of track position. As you can see right now, he holds about a 3 1/4 second lead over Morton.
Yeah, and I was just kind of thinking that, Brandon. I'm wondering if specifically, Philbrick and Kohlhaas is thinking that very thing right now. And, listen, Kohlhaas is a teammate of yours, and I know through time that I've been a part of your team and with you guys think alike on several things. So I am wondering if Ira Kohlhaas is thinking that thing right now, right? Is he going to try to get in a lap early on Crosby and try to get, moved up? We could say the same thing, though, about some of those guys in the middle of the pack in Hinton, Burley, Ringer, and Dion, specifically Ringer, right? Because when Ringer gets a repair and he figures this out, he's gonna make up ground.
So currently right now I show Judson Curtis, Mike Hardy, David Eske, Jonathan McIntosh, John Massey, Chris Wagner all have been on pit road in the last little bit. Currently right now the guy that has not been is our leader, and he's still pacing the field by about 3 seconds, John.
Yeah, it looks like Ringer has just entered the pit. Hopefully he doesn't have too much damage and get out as quick as possible and start gaining his time back.
As Ringer will go a lap down, maybe 2, but that will be made up when the leaders start to hit pit road. Now, Morton, over the last couple laps, guys, I've been watching the last lap times on my relative, and right now Morton over the last 2 or 3 laps has been about two tenths quicker than Jonathan Crosby. Philbrick's kind of stalled, though, Cody, and so has Kohlhaas, but Morton's on the move.
Yeah, Morton is on the move. I mean, he's settled in, right? Morton could be one of those last ones we start to see that pit because he is running really well right now. I think that Philbrick and Kohlhaas is starting to feel that tire wear fairly heavily. As you can see, Kohlhaas is losing time quickly right now. Morton setting about 3 seconds off of Crosby. So it looks like, I don't know, what was that last lap time on Morton, Brandon? Because it looks like he might be slowing down just a little bit.
So, in fact, it must be the commentator's curse, because until I started talking about it, he was 2 tenths quicker. By that time, he was 2.5 tenths slower. We see Chuck Burley has now hit pit road, so I believe the pit window's open. I think your top 4 or 5 is going to run this as long as they possibly can. I'm going to say that 60 laps is probably going to be the call. Now, if that's the case, right, let's just say that the pit window opens, John, at lap 60 for these front runners if they pit then. If they go 60 more, that's going to put them at lap 120, 121. That's going to be a short stint to the finish.
But as well, they'll have that extra set of tires if that's the case. If we get a late race caution, it could change everything. It puts everybody on fresh tires, and they're going to be pushing.
Yeah, I think you're right. Right now, it's just a matter to see when these guys start to hit pit road. As we know, Crosby is out. That lead is still maintaining. In fact, Morton was about a tenth slower that last time. Philbrick is still right there. He's matching lap times with Morton, so no loss, no gain. Kohlhaas is still kind of right here in this area. But I tell you, this guy right here in the 60 has consistently been a little bit faster than our leaders over the last little bit. And that's going to be Brian Souza. We'll keep an eye out on him. But I tell you, this guy right here, Hinton, we talk about him almost every week, Cody. Hinton starts in the back and then finds his way to the front.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I mean, he's yet to pit. So I know in his mind he's thinking strategy right now, but he absolutely has. Now, one thing I want to point out, something you said a few moments ago, Brandon, is these top six going to try to get in the pit earlier than everybody else? One thing we just took notice of, Philbrick, who ran quite a bit longer than everybody else that was pitting, now is pitting. So he's going to be out ahead of those front five.
So that was our third place runner, was Philbrick. Now, here's going to be my question, John. When does this bring Crosby, Morton, Kohlhaas to Lorette Pit Road? Because this is going to be time lost with them 4 fresh Goodyear tires.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's going through Morton's mind, I wonder how he's doing. Does he go in when Crosby? I think these top 5 are waiting for that leader to come in so they can maintain something. They're praying on him to pit. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and right now we see Judson Curtis is going to be on fresh tires. We know Kohlhaas still hasn't been on pit road yet, nor has Souza, nor has Hinton. And in fact, Brandon Hinton's battling for position with Brian Souza right here. This is going to be the battle for what's going to be the 4th position, and I'm still waiting to see. I'm not sure what happened to Kohlhaas, but Kohlhaas might be trying to save here. He's lost quite a bit of time on the track. My guy might be trying to save some fuel, but I want to keep an eye on Souza, because right now, Souza, Hinton, they've caught Kohlhaas.
Yeah, you can see there. I mean, they are they are losing time. But my God, Crosby and Morton just holding strong. I mean, what's going on with 3, 4, and 5 and Souza, Hinton, and Kohlhaas? They're going to be 11 seconds back from what was 3.5 seconds about 10 laps ago. But Crosby and Morton just holding strong up there at the front. My goodness.
I can tell you the 2 guys on the move right now is Souza, is Hinton. I think this is a strategy deal out of Kohlhaas. I want to go on board. In fact, he's going to miss pit road.
No.
He tried to get to pit road there and missed pit road. That was going to be his time to come. So now he's going to have to reset. That's going to be tons of track position loss for Kohlhaas. I thought maybe he was trying to save some fuel to get to pit road, but Crosby Morton's still out there. So now we've hit lap 65. So here's the thing. If these guys can get, let's just say they get 5 more laps, they might be able to make it to the end here, John.
Yeah, with only 1 pit, that would be incredibly insane. I think that'll be a lot of saving, though.
It might be a lot of saving, but it's not out of this stretch of impossibility. And I tell you, because we seen that last week at Chicagoland with Bradley Carter just running out at the line where Brian Souza, we know he likes these fuel strategy races. And, well, Brian Souza was right there ready to take the win just as Carter ran out of fuel. So we'll see how this race plays out. But right now, Crosby, Morton, Souza, Hinton, Philbrick, that's your top 5. Kohlhaas is currently on pit road, as you can see right there. Hinton still hasn't been on pit road. I'm looking at lap times right now. These guys are still in the mid 24-second lap times as Cole Morton's hit pit road. So now the question becomes, when does Crosby hit pit road? And how much time does he want to give up on the racetrack? Those 4 fresh Goodyears are going to be a lot faster than what Crosby's going to be able to lay down. So we'll keep an eye on when he's ready to go. As you can see, Kohlhaas has got one of his laps back. So we'll just have to see, Cody, how this shakes out when this green flag cycle of pit stops is complete.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Crosby is probably playing into what you guys was talking about a moment ago, right? If he can get to that halfway point, I think in his head, if he races smart, this might be the only pit we see out of that front three. You know, I think he's going to keep pushing it. I mean, why
Yellow.
not?
Oh,
Wait,
Jonathan
What do we
Crosby,
got?
I'm showing, just had an incident. Let me back this up. I believe this is going to be our race leader. Let me see if I can get a little bit different of a shot here. Trying to find us a good one. It's all good there.
Oh no.
They were trying to come to pit road, and in fact, was overcooking it was Esky and Crosby, and just wasn't able to make pit road, John.
But that could be interesting. That might have just saved Crosby. Now he keeps the lead. Rolling into the pit right now, leading the pit. That's crazy. We
Yeah.
never touched base on how hard it is to get on pit road here at Dover. We've seen Kohlhaas struggle, and now we just seen our race leader struggle.
Yeah, Cole Haas, our race leader, Jonathan Crosby, David Esky, all struggling to get on pit road. Now, these drivers that we see, Philbrick, Morton, Ringer, Burley, Hardy, Cole Haas, that's all currently a lap down. They should be able to get a wave around here, I believe, if they are in fact lined up behind these three guys. So the three leaders on pit road. So yeah, those guys should be able to get a wave around. So Cole Morton, Ringer, Chuck Burley, Mike Hardy, Ira Kohlhaas all should get a wave around, so they'll get back on the lead lap. But I think you're right, John. This is actually a saving grace for Crosby and Hinton.
And it credits to the big lead he had over second place. You know, he was able to have so much time between there where he was able to mess up, and the caution was able to come out and preserve that spot. You don't see that a lot here on iRacing.
You do not see that a lot here. I tell you, as this cycles out, this actually, it does, Cody. It works out in his hands. He's going to have 4 fresh Goodyear tires. As we know, Philbrick, Morton, Ringer, Burley, Hardy, Kohlhaas is going to take the wave around, but this is going to be huge for Hinton and Crosby.
Yeah, no, 100% it is. And I mean, again, so we're 72 laps in, right? So we're not quite, I mean, we're literally right at the halfway point at this point. I think Crosby's probably thanking baby Jesus for what just took place, because that could have been really ugly and could have set him back quite a bit. Now, with 4 fresh tires coming off of this caution, coming off of this pit stop right here, Crosby's been running really strong. Hinton's been running really, really strong. You know, kind of curious to see these lap times and how they come out.
I tell you one thing I just noticed, John, was Brandon Hinton come back down pit road to get a splash of fuel. That tells me he's going to play a strategy, and he's going to try to run long to the finish, as these drivers was able to hit up to about lap 70. So I think that that's a strategy call, and I suspect Hinton's going to try to go to the end.
Yeah, that's a very smart move. You know, just to see these guys' brains working so early with less, we still have more than half a race to go.
We do have a race to go. The iRacing pace car will dip off, and what's been a struggle to get the races going, and now we will get a green flag. So you're going to have Crosby, Souza, Hinton, Philbrick all right here. And in fact, one driver trying to get a lap back is going to be Judson Curtis in the 29. As you can see, he's putting some pressure on Jonathan Crosby right here. He's going to race hard to try to get his lap back. I don't think those drivers got the wave around. They didn't.
Yeah, that's weird.
Is it because, I bet it's because the 60 stayed out. Did the 60 stay out? I think he did. I think Souza stayed out.
Yeah, so that would not give the other cars behind him a wave around.
So what a major turn of events for these guys. From what's going to be fourth on back, they're going to need a caution potentially to get back on the lead lap. This race has flipped, Cody, and it's completely upside down right now.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, I don't want to see nobody's night get crazy with a caution, but I mean, the only chance that fourth on back is going to have at this point is going to be a caution, so they can try to get that lap back, and they just got to pray that that caution doesn't involve them. But now we're going to have a race for top three. With Souza falling about a half second back, and then Hinton falling about 3 seconds back off of that caution. So Crosby's going to have a comfortable spot out front for now. We'll see what the 60 car does through the next few laps.
Yeah, I think right now, John Hinton's going to be playing the fuel strategy game. I think he's going to be trying to go to the end. But I think, John, this is also a good time for us to get into our rev it up moment of the race, where we like to get loud and proud.
My favorite part of the week, baby.
Brandon, I'm going to have to watch these replays before I go to work, because every time I see that camera shake, man, I just get hyped. Uh-oh.
Trouble. Is it?
Looks like that was Ringer.
No, Ringer's clear.
No, that was John Massey is who it was. And in fact...
Oh, I saw that green.
Yeah, let's take a look at what happened here. He ended up backwards, John. Loose on exit.
Oh, yep.
That actually collected Cole Morton.
And you got to think that's what's going to happen. These drivers just got fresh tires. You know, they've been running so hard on these old tires. It's easy to forget how it feels on those fresh tires, and just like that.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, let me make a point right here. We just talked about it, right? Is now we're on a caution. So what's going to happen as far as these guys that are a lap down?
Well, one of these guys should be able to get back on the lead lap, but I can tell you they'll be able to make it, at least from what we know, to the end of this race. I'm surprised though that Crosby, Morton, these guys, I'm surprised they didn't come down pit road. I really am. I'm not. I'm certain you can get to the end from here. I'm not sure.
What I think's going through her head is I think they're preying on another caution. Right now, if when looks like Hinton goes down to pit road now though. But Morton staying out, he's going to get that lucky dog. It's going to put him on the lead lap with those other three drivers.
Well, in fact, Morton won't be the guy that gets that, John. He was involved in that accident, and here on the iRacing service, whether you're the first car to ready to get the lucky dog or not, if you're involved in the accident and take any type of an incident point, it'll actually go to the next driver, I believe. So I don't think Cole's going to be the one that's going to get that lucky dog. And in fact, I think potentially it might be Philbrick that ends up the lucky dog here, John. I think. See Cole Haas coming back down the pit road. That third caution though, Jay, it's changed the complexity of this race to catch all these guys a lap down.
Well, at this point, right? I mean, we got to wonder, the guys that are taking pit this late, Brandon, right? Are they going to have that advantage late in the race? Or not this late, excuse me, but during this caution, are they going to have the advantage late in this race? Because they're going to be a little bit more fresh as we get into the latter half of this race.
I think you're right, but so now this time, John, we're going to see Crosby, Souza, Hinton, Morton lined up 1, 2, 3, 4 for this restart.
Yeah, I expect another one. Now, this is where those restarts going to come in. We've seen it earlier how bad these restarts can get. Is maintaining the tire spin off the start is crucial right now. We've seen how far these guys can go. Some of these can make it. Mistakes cannot happen at this point of the race.
Yeah, not just over I believe the halfway point of this race. now's not the time you want to make mistakes. It looks like Morton doesn't have any damage from being involved into that accident, so he should be able to maintain well here. I mean, Crosby just does such a good job at restarts, man. I mean, there wasn't a single driver beside him when he took the green, or at least started the race back. You can see Hinton, Souza, Morton, all right there battling for the second position. Philbrick, he's going to be at the end of the longest line. So, yeah, Philbrick was our free pass car. As you can see, now Hinton's moved into second, John.
Yep, I do see that. And let me tell you what, we were talking about it earlier. That is like a safety car. I would like to call it the safety vest. Everybody can see that car. When I come to a short track like this, I have the same mentality.
Yeah, and right now I can tell you for sure Crosby's not getting away from Hinton, Cody, as Hinton's looking to take over the top spot as they head into turns 1 and 2.
And he did, Brandon. Yeah, Hinton moving in that beautiful 5 car, moving into that first place position. Crosby moving back into second place with Souza and Philbrick rounding out the top 4 there on the lead lap. Looks like Hinton's going to start pulling away just a little bit. We'll see if they can't keep pace.
Now,
coming into 84 laps into this race.
Yeah, and I think right now, John, one thing that we want to keep an eye on is we are certain, or at least I know I am, and you're kind of my math magician with this. I believe Hinton can go to the end, John. I'm not sure about Crosby, but if you're Hinton, how hard do you push early on in this run?
Well, I think that caution we just got was really nice. He could use that to, clutch in, turn that car off, save some fuel as he coasts around the track, giving him an extra maybe 1 to 2 laps around this track. Right now, I think he's got to find the fine line between conserving and pushing it to keep it up front. And this race could be his. We know he can make it.
We've seen Hinton close so many different times. We know he's due a win. He's just under halfway of a race to be able to get that win on the season. And right now, and close that points gap. We know that points battle is tight. So we'll keep an eye on Hinton. Let's figure out what's going on back here. We've got Ringer, Hardy, Curtis. Somebody was headed down port.
That's Morton.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why he's headed to pit road. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Nicole Morton.
Maybe he did get a little damage on that wreck, and maybe he wasn't liking how his car's feeling. It does look like his right front's a little dinged up. I don't see any damage that could be possibly to his tire, but definitely an interesting call here.
Yeah, this is quite the fuel call. I'm not 100% sure as to why, and it looked like he stopped long in his box. Not sure.
No, he stopped short.
Short? I mean, I didn't show a black flag for him. I'm not sure. Right now, Hinton's extended that lead, though, Cody, out to about 7/10. Behind him is going to be Crosby, Souza, Philbrick. I'm watching some of these battles back here, though, amongst these lap cars, all battling to try to be the first car 1 lap down. Right now, I believe that driver is going to be Tom Ringer.
Yeah, after Ringer having a very strong start of this race, he's definitely been able to keep it front all day. Definitely. Now, just unfortunately, he's a lap down now, hoping he can get a caution here, get him back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Cody, as I take a look at how this race is playing out, we're not sure why Cole Morton hit pit road. I'll have to shoot him a message afterward to find out what happened, but I'm taking a look back here, and, well, Ira's kind of riding just right there where he is. There's Chuck Burley. Sean Dion.
Yeah, we're starting to see these cars spread out here. They're going to settle in. One thing that I'm thinking if I'm Hinton right now leading this race is settle in, be patient, right? Don't push it too hard. You got a decent half-second lead right now. Just be steady. You know what I mean? That's what's really important right now for Hinton. Just be steady.
Yeah, you just got to be steady as we see Hinton, Crosby, Souza all right here. In fact, I believe Philbrick just got by Souza. In fact, he did. So Philbrick on the hunt now, about 4 seconds behind Hinton, and just shy of 3 behind Crosby. Philbrick's on the move, John.
Yes, he is. He started doing that late run on the last green run we had there. He started out a little farther back and then started gaining up his positions. Looks like he's dropped quite a bit of time, though.
He has lost some time, but I tell you, he was one of our front runners, if I can remember correctly, last week. Was Philbrick, was Crosby. Right now, Hinton's extended that lead out just a little bit. You got Hinton, Crosby, Philbrick, Souza, Ringer, Curtis, Mike Hardy right here, and a nice top 10 run going for him. Burley, Cole Haas, all left in the top 10. Sean Dion back here. Jonathan McIntosh, John Massey, David Esky, Chris Wagner. Doesn't look like he, in fact, he has retired from the race. So right now it's all Hinton with about that's a little over 48 laps to go.
Yeah, out to a full second lead.
I wonder, Brandon, I mean, what is this going to look like on point standings, right? I'd have to take a closer look to see what the gap is, but I'm wondering if Hinton does take this win tonight, especially if he has all these lead laps coming in, finishing up this race. I wonder if that's going to put him over the top.
You know, it very well could. And I tell you, there's another driver that's not signed in tonight that's one of our regulars, and that's going to be well, I had his name right there on the tip of my tongue, and then I've lost it. I hate when I do that, guys. Jacob Williams. He's not signed in tonight either. So that, I tell you, with Waltz, Carter, Jordan Trask all out of the race, Brandon Hinton is really looking to seize a really good opportunity in a points battle. Because right now, the lead has shrunk. It was quite a bit of a deficit, but he's gotten behind this, what would be a lap car. Morton 2 laps down, and maybe Morton's unlapped himself. He was 3 laps down, but right now the arrow, John, from that 94 car is affecting this 5.
Yeah, for sure, and definitely going back to what Cody was saying and how the points, looking at them now, Hinton's only 9 points behind Waltz right now, who did not make it today. So this finishing in the top 5 is very crucial for him. Right now, he's got doing what it takes. When it comes to the lap cars, you got to be super patient. But we still got Crosby here like a snake ready to strike back there.
Yeah, we seen this earlier, Cody, in the race with Ringer. Ringer jumped out to a really nice lead, led some laps early, but since has fallen through the field as we've completed a lap 101 of 145. Cody, I tell you, do you think Hinton maybe went a little quick and burnt those tires up?
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be that. That wouldn't surprise me, right? Because, I mean, we did see him go all the way up to a second lead, and we saw it very quickly, which means he was definitely pushing hard. I'm thinking, though, Brandon, that the lap car right there in front of Hinton is playing a big factor in this. I think that, he got up on that lap car. The arrow was messing with it a little bit. I think he lost a little bit of time there. As you can see, now that he's a little bit behind that lapped car, he's starting to pull away from second place again, being over a half lap. So, I mean, it could be tires. I'm just almost thinking maybe it was the lap car that slowed him down just a little bit.
Yeah, and right now I'm just kind of searching through the field, John, to see if we have a battle anywhere on the racetrack, and right now it doesn't look like we do right here. This is not going to be a battle for position. I don't think it could be. In fact, it's not. One of these cars is 3 laps down, the other one 4 laps down, so No battle for position there. Brandon Hinton has since, John, extended his lead back out to about 8/10.
Yeah, absolutely looking clean right now.
Crosby second, Philbrick third, Souza fourth. Now we've seen Souza lose a little bit of track position, but I wonder if he's just trying to save tire for later in the race, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, strong possibility. I think a lot of these guys, right? Because here's the thing I keep reminding myself is there was so many different pits at so many different times, right? So who's going to be more efficient towards the end of this race, right? Who's going to have that much more left on their tires, that much more left in their tanks? Because, I mean, like a lot of races, Brandon, we see a lot of pitting happening at the same time, right? We didn't see that tonight. We saw it was very sporadic.
Yeah, it was. In fact, the pit stops were very spread out over the course of the last little bit. I showed Brandon Hinton the last time he was on pit road was going to be lap 79. Now, Jonathan Crosby was last on pit road at lap 70. And so there's about a 9-lap difference there, John, between those two, to where Crosby may not make it to the end, but we're certain that Hinton can.
Yeah, this is where Crosby's going to have to save, and he did save quite a bit in that first initial run. Unfortunately, with that little mishap on pit as well, but man, it's going to be an interesting turnout. Starting to look a lot like deja vu out here at Dover, let me tell you.
Yeah, a little bit of deja vu for sure, as we seen and witnessed what happened last week at Chicagoland with these drivers, to where fuel had become a very big item of conversation for us. And well, we seen Carter just run out the line. I do think Hinton can make it to the end here, Cody, but I also show Philbrick was last on pit road at lap 79 as well. And if Hinton can make it, so can Philbrick.
Yeah, no, 100%, right? And that makes me wonder, so who's going to have the better tires when it comes towards the end of this race? Because, you know, if Hinton is, to your point, if he is pushing hard, right, he's going to wear faster. Philbrick could very well be being patient right now to save those tires, which will make him faster towards the end of this race. So, I mean, Brandon, we're only 34 laps away from the finish of this race.
Yeah, 34 laps to go. We're getting near down to that 30-lap area. And I tell you right now, the last time by, our leader, Brandon Hinton, was about 0.3 faster than Jonathan Crosby. But I also tell you, Philbrick was also about 0.3 faster than Crosby, as Hinton and Philbrick matching lap time. So I suspect if that trend stays the way that we think that it's going to, John, Philbrick could be battling Crosby for the second position here in about, say, 10 laps.
Yeah, he's definitely making up ground and making up ground quick. Excited to see how this one turns out for sure.
The one guy that's been struggling throughout the night, been very consistent in the top 10, has been Mike Hardy in that 11 car. Got a really solid run going on right there. Sean Dion struggled. I think he got tied up in a wreck early, but I tell you, I enjoy Sean. He runs that number 3, man. He brings some really cool paint schemes out to the racetrack. As you can see, Rat Fink on the side of that race car there.
That is a good-looking car.
Right now, I'm keeping an eye on Philbrick, guys. I want to keep an eye on him right now. He in fact is faster than both Crosby and Hinton right now at this point in the race. So now Hinton could
interesting.
Go ahead.
Interesting fact about Philbrick: this is only his second race. This is his first race in this series. Was at Chicagoland. He came away with a top 5 finish, and he's steady. Because is he a force to be reckoned with for as this season goes on?
And he very well could be, John. I tell you, we watched him, and I think he led quite a bit of laps last week. The fuel strategy was kind of offset from where he was at. There was a couple drivers able to extend it, but it did have a solid top 5 run last week. And I can tell you for sure, watching these lap times right now, he's about a 10th quicker than Hinton, but he's also 0.3 quicker than Crosby. And in fact, the difference between Crosby and Philbrick is Well, it's now less than a second.
And with less than 30 to go, man, it's heating up.
Yeah, I think it's going to heat up. The question's going to be, Cody, is who saved the tires the best to be able to get to the end of this race? I think right now this race potentially comes down between, Philbrick and Hinton.
I agree. I agree, Brandon, right? I mean, to your point, right, there's a 9-lap difference between Crosby and the other two on the last pit. So I think we're going to start to see the battle between Hinton and Philbrick heat up. We are seeing some cars pit here, but I don't think that's going to factor as much for those top three. Sousa's fallen back to about 14 and a half seconds or so, but Philbrick has made up quite a bit of time. I'm just wondering what's going through Crosby's head right now, because you got to think, right? He's in second place. He's racking his brain right now, trying to figure out what can he do at the end of this race to ensure he still gets that top three finish.
Yeah, and right now you can see the difference between Crosby. Philbrick is about 0.6 of a second. That last time by, Philbrick ran a 23.93. And in fact, your leader, Brandon Hinton, ran a 23.91. Crosby 23.92, Philbrick 23.93. Matching lap times right now. So is these tires starting to even out? As you see, Philbrick's going to get around the lap car of Curtis. And in fact, I tell you, one guy that just laid down the fastest lap of the race, though, Chuck Burley, just came out and laid down a heater with a 23.72. Just got off pit road, John.
Oh, yeah. It shows you the difference between fresh tires and them old tires. The things you could be able to do with this car is unbelievable. But I want to keep an eye on Sousa as well. He's dropped back down to 15 seconds. Is he saving to make sure he can cross the finish line without pitting? And he steady keeps dropping back just a little bit, more and more each lap.
Yeah, and in fact, that very well could be a strategy call, John, is because right now I show him the last time be on pit road about lap 70 as we are under 25 to go. But this battle right here for second is slowly starting to heat up, as it looks like Philbrick is still a little bit quicker than Crosby. Not by much though, Cody, but he is a little bit quicker right now.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You know, a little bit quicker with 22 laps to go. He needs to be a little bit more than a little bit quicker. You know what I'm saying? Because, 22 laps to go is not much time left. A lot of racing left to go. But Brandon, I mean, let me ask you, is Crosby going to have to pit with 10 laps to go?
I think it's possible that he runs short on fuel. Now, I could be wrong when I say that. So it looks like to me Mike Hardy has gotten some sort of a meatball. So I'm not sure what's going on with that 11. I showed that he's got some heavy damage of some sort. In fact, that has now since went away. I'm not sure what's going on there, as we are within 20 laps to go right now. Hinton, Crosby, Philbrick, top three. Sousa, 4th. Judson Curtis, 5th. Ringer, 6th. Cole Haas, 7th. Hardy, 8th. Dione, 9th. Morton, 10th. That's the top 10. We know Chuck Burley was on pit road, so he'll start to mow through this field pretty quick. We'll see where this shakes out for him. He'll be able to make it to the end from here. I tell you, though, has this battle heated up here any at all? In fact, it hasn't. Uh-oh, Jonathan Crosby crashed.
Uh-oh. Who?
Jonathan Crosby. And in fact, I seen there was a meatball or something with the 11 car. I'm not sure what was going on there. Let's back this up a little bit further. I think this is actually going to start. So you see the 11.
If you go back a little bit, I think he missed pit.
Yeah,
I think he went to pit and missed it and came up the track not knowing the 13 was there.
You trying to get to pit road, can't, just misjudged it. You're right, John. In fact, he's going to come back up the track, just tag Crosby right there, and then Crosby's just going to loop it. It doesn't look like, though, Jonathan Crosby touches anything. In fact, he doesn't. So he'll be able to keep
Yeah.
a clean race car, John.
I'm going to call that a save. Whether he kept it or not, he could have done some serious damage to that car, keeping it off the wall, not only on the outside but the inside. That's some good driving.
So now, Cody, what this does is this is going to restack first through what will be, and there'll be a lap car now, lucky dog car, but he'll have to go to the end of the longest line. What this does, though, this brings these 4 guys back together for what's going to be about 15 to go when we go back green. There's no saving tire now.
Yeah, and not only that, Brandon, but I think is some of these middle pack going to be able to make up their lap right here?
I don't.
Yeah, looks like that's going to put.
It's possible
Maybe
they
my
may.
eyes are playing jokes on me.
It may not be. It's possible that some of these guys, because it looks like to me all the leaders went down pit road, so some of these guys may be able to get a wave around. If that's the case, and they're able to get back on the lead lap, and we were able to get a caution within that 15 to go mark, that changes the complexity of the race even in itself.
And to keep in mind, I hate to say it, but the old-fashioned saying goes, cautions breed cautions. And right now, I'm nervous for these drivers. I'm sweating for them right now. I'm wondering how this is going to pan out.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too. I'm trying to keep an eye on Kohlhaas, Ringer, and company, and I believe they are in fact going to get the way. So they did. So those drivers, Ringer, Curtis, Kohlhaas, they get the wave around, so they'll get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, this is going to shake things up big time, Brandon. We're going to be right at about 14 laps to go when we take this green, and this is this is going to make things interesting because now all of a sudden we got 7 cars on this lead lap, with Hinton going to take the lead. Now, one thing we have to wonder, right, is we've seen it before. You know, who's going to spin off of this, right? Is Hinton going to get the start that Crosby's been getting off of these cautions?
So now it comes down to who can execute this restart, keep their race car under them. As the pace car has dipped off, John, we're going to be going back to green with 15 laps to go. We know there's been some waiver rounds. We know there's some drivers wanting to get back on the lead lap. We are back on the way with 15 to go.
Yes, now keep those eyes on Kohlhaas. Finally back from being a lap down. Let's see what these guys can do in the back. I mean, we got Ringer and Sosa and Curtis all back in the fight.
Yeah, these guys.
Listen, gentlemen, I don't know about you, but 15 to go, I'm balls to the wall at this point.
Yeah,
I'm giving that car everything it has. I don't even care about the gas. I don't care about the tires. This car is getting, what was that saying? He's going to put his foot on the gas and ride the wall until one or the other he meets Jesus. What was it?
Yeah, something along those lines.
I'm not going to let this. I see the checker flag or Jesus.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right now, I can tell you, Hinton, Crosby, Philbrick all doing that same thing. As you can see, big battles back here. Now, it looked like to me, Curtis, Hardy maybe have gotten the wall. One of the two. I'm not 100% sure. This race is going to be far from over. We're down to 13 laps to go. Hinton leads over Crosby. This is a bumper-to-bumper battle for the lead here, John. One mistake, another caution comes out, and this race changes again.
Yeah, it looks like Crosby's looking to peek under him right here going into turn number 3.
Yeah, and I'm just not sure if the low line is going to be the line that you want to be in. If you're Crosby, can he maintain that quarter? In fact, he will. The battle rages on, Cody, coming to 11 to go. Crosby, Hinton, Philbrick, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness gracious. Crosby taking the lead right there. I mean, what? I mean, look at this. Philbrick coming on the inside, looking like that bottom lane is going to work for them. We're going to have a battle all the way to the finish right here, coming up on 10 laps to go. But Crosby's going to pull away just a little bit, and it looks as though that, it's about 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, about 0.3 of a second is the current lead right now. You can see Philbrick driving with everything he had in him, getting off of the bouncing a little bit off the wall right now. You see Crosby, Philbrick, Hinton, Souza, Curtis, Kohlhaas, the top 6. Ringers had to come to pit road. I'm not sure as to why. Maybe some heavy damage. But nonetheless, you can see right now no change up front. The battle still is about 3/10, John.
Absolutely. It looks like Crosby tends to gain on him in the middle of the corner here, but on exit, Philbricks, that's where he gets his run and on the backstretch.
So right now the battle rages on. He's going to extend that lead a little bit. I think Philbrick gets a little bit better run off corners. I believe Crosby's charging the entries. As you can see, that battle is raging on. 8 laps to go, Cody. The race for the race win is heating up between Crosby and Philbrick.
I mean, what a change, right? Because 10 laps ago, nobody could touch Hinton. And now all of a sudden we got Crosby and Philbrick battling out front. I mean, Philbrick's going to push him all the way around this track right now. He's waiting for the right opportunity. He's waiting for Crosby to make that one slip up. The question is, with 7 laps to go, is he going to make that slip up, or is Crosby going to take the checker?
I think right now this is the battle that we need to keep an eye on. It's going to be between these two, Philbrick and Crosby. I don't see any reason to go anywhere else right now unless a caution comes out. I want to see how this plays out as we're coming to 5 laps to go. John, Philbrick within a couple car lengths.
Yeah, he seems to be gaining here on Crosby. Low down a little bit, just gained the reaction to his car. He moved up a little bit here. He seems to be trying to find that middle line and finding that inside the corner.
He's right.
He's getting a runoff of that turn, John. Did you see that?
Yeah,
he's right in that middle, and he's getting a runoff on those turns while Crosby's kind of hugging on the inside. Watch this. He's going to get a run right here on the outside coming off of that turn.
Now, if you're Philbrick, what do you do? Do you go up to block that lane, or do you stay at the bottom where you've been holding this race?
Yeah, I think if you're Jonathan Crosby, you're going to hold the bottom. Philbrick got a little bit arrow tight on the exit of 2 the last time by with that run. I think he's going to go back up there again. In fact, he will. This should set up a decent run down the back straightaway. But did Philbrick waste what he had? Is he still got a shot with 4 laps to go here, Cody?
I think he's still got a shot, Brandon. I think that he's going to try to make these runs coming off these turns. You know, I think he sees those runs working. As you can see right now, you know, in the straights, he's coming off just about a 10th, and then he loses just a little bit in the turns, right? But he's waiting for that big run. Right here, look, I think we're going to see a battle. 3 laps to go. He's going to try to make the move, and he does right there, Brandon, on the inside. You see it?
He did make the move. Crosby went down to try to block, was not able to do so. So we're coming to 2 laps to go here. In fact, that low line wasn't going to work that time for Philbrick. He's going to look to set up that same move, John, as they're going to be coming to the white flag.
Yeah, will he be able to do it? Looked like he got a little loose there out of 4. I've seen a little wiggle out of him. He's got to maintain that, keep that grip, but I think he can do it.
As we are coming to the white flag here, Philbrick still about a 10th off. Pounded the wall again. He's going to get in on the outside of Crosby this time. This should be able to set up a move. And in fact, can he hold his door? He's not. He's going to get tight. He got a little bit tight. This is going to open the door for Crosby. Crosby's now going to be able to maintain. And in fact, Jonathan Crosby's going to win the Dover 145. Philbrick second. Looks like Hinton's going to come home third. Souza fourth. Curtis fifth. Wow. Arrow tight for Philbrick there, just not able to get it done.
Wow. I mean, he pushed. I mean, right there was proof. Philbrick pushed hard right there and just got a little bit loose trying to give it everything it had. And Crosby was able to come out with the win right here in Dover. What an incredible race by Crosby, right up and down. You know, again, 20 laps ago, we were thinking Crosby was going to have to pit towards the end. We had the late caution that kind of shook things up a little bit. Kudos to him. Congratulations on a great race.
Yeah, as we can see, he's going to roll up there. We'll see if we get some burnouts out of him. I'm not sure if we will.
I don't know how much he has left on those tires, Brandon. We'll see.
looks like he's saving his motor for next week.
I got Jonathan Crosby. I'm looking to see if I get our other 2 finishers. Hinton. There comes Hinton. Just waiting to see if Philbrick comes in for an interview. And in fact, there's Philbrick. Okay, so let's take a look at the race results real quick. And that will be the race results right there. As we see Jonathan Crosby picking up the win. Philbrick second. Brandon Hinton third. Another solid finish for him. Brian Sosa's been on a roll the last couple of weeks. Has Souza with another solid top 5 finish. Judson Curtis fifth. Ira Kohlhaas rebounds to a 6th place finish. Cole Morton 7th. Mike Hardy 8th. Chuck Burley 9th. Sean Dion 10th. Tom Ringer 11th. Jonathan McIntosh 12th, John Massey 13th, David Esky 14th, and Chris Wagner will round out the 15-car field. So let's see if we can get a couple of our guys in here. Let's see. Cody, I'll let you start. I tell you what, John, I'll let you start with the 3rd place finisher, and that was Brandon Hinton. Hey, Brandon, it's Brandon, Cody, John up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Man, Brandon, what a race. You know, you had a little bit of a tough luck there on those first two little restarts you had, but able to bounce back and come up with a 2nd place finish. 3rd place finish. You looked strong all day. You even led some laps today. What was going through your head through that race from the start of those first 2 cautions?
Again, as usual, just starting the back and it was a good thing with all the spinning of the tires and everything, so that worked out for us. But worked our way up there, and the caution came out right at the right time. I was going to pit about 5 laps before that, and so that trapped a lot of people a lap down, or 2 laps down, and then it was just race from there, and it stayed green, and I wanted it to stay green, and of course it didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Before that yellow came out, all of us in the booth are definitely rooting for you, looking good and clean. And unfortunately, we see how those yellows work, especially here at Dover. But man, like I said, definitely a good run, working your way up to 3rd through that early damage. Any sponsors you'd like to thank today?
Oh, I'd just like to thank you guys for doing the broadcast. You guys do a wonderful job. And shout out to Ratfink for putting this on. It was a lot of fun. And I want to congratulate John and Ryan. That was a lot of fun watching them battle for the lead up at the front.
Yeah, for sure, Brandon. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on your podium finish. And can't wait to see you race next week.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Take it easy.
That was our 3rd place finisher, was Brandon Hinton, and I think that's going to allow him to assume the points position lead. Will Brandon Hinton? We'll see how the points shake out going into next week. But Cody, we're going to bring in our 2nd place finisher, and Ryan Philbrick, and let you interview him. Hey, Ryan, it's Brandon and Cody and John up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Hey, Ryan, man, what a race, man. First off, congratulations on a strong 2nd place finish. But listen, I think the question we're all wondering right now, 3 laps to go, you're taking that middle, getting the runs off the turns. You know, you went for it right there at the end, got into the wall just a little bit, but we could see you were giving that car everything it had. What was going through your head right there, 5 laps to go?
I could tell he was getting tight coming off, and I was trying to figure out where to make the pass and just do it cleanly. I didn't want to wreck nobody, you know what I mean? And that was the hardest part. And I kind of needed to do it on the outside, and I couldn't get to his rear quarter in time, you know, to force him to stay low in the next corner. And I just really couldn't get it to where it was just so tight and dirty air. It's already a hard track to pass at. You know what I mean? I couldn't really get it done on the bottom. So I tried to make my first couple attempts. I had the runoff, like you said, every time. I just couldn't set it up into the next corner to complete it.
Well, listen, you had us fooled there for a minute, man, because I'm not going to lie to you. You know, we're up here in the broadcasting booth watching this, just waiting for you to make that move. We all knew it was coming, and you made it. You know, you got below him there at one point. We thought you were going to be able to take it. But listen, incredible job, incredible race, great consistency all the way around, man. Any sponsors you'd like to thank tonight?
Clean Cut Painting. That's about it. Thank you guys for broadcasting. Thank the league. 2nd week I've been here, but it seems like a great league. Clean guys, fun racing. That was a great race.
Well, listen, man, we are glad to have you. Thank you again. Thank you for an incredible night tonight. Gave us a lot to look forward to up here in the broadcasting booth. And until next week, brother, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
All right, man. Thank you.
That was our second place finisher, was Jonathan Crosby, just coming up a little bit short there. And we're going to bring in Ryan Philbrick, rather. I apologize. Coming up a little bit short. Crosby, it's Brandon, Cody, John up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's going on, guys?
Man, I tell you what, we watched throughout this event. You got I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you for a second here. Miles tried to bite you every way he possibly could, man. It seemed like every other caution that we seen out on the racetrack, somehow you was around it, near it. I don't know, but you managed to park you managed to park the thing in victory lane. Take us through your night.
Man, it was just a series of bad luck. Just being in the wrong spot at the wrong time. So I'm very surprised we got it done, but hey, we did it. But it was very difficult. The track was hot. It was slippery. It was greasy. And on the restarts, man, those got sketchy. But man, it was nuts. We ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it felt like awful. But when that caution came out, when I got together with the 11 there, Brandon was checked out. There was nothing I could do, and we had to save fuel. And I was like, yeah, well, this is done. So that kind of messed me up, but didn't at the same time. So it kind of helped, but just kind of screwed my momentum there. So after that, it was just head down and just grind it out.
Yeah, in fact, we seen a couple of times tonight that even though that you was near or around those cautions, they actually pay dividend for you. For example, we seen you trying to get the pit road. I believe it was around the 55 of David Esky, yep. And there would end up being a caution there. But in fact, you ran so long, you had the field trapped a couple of laps down, but you also had a 13 second lead at that time, and it played no factor on the race position because you was able to maintain the lead there.
Yeah, and which is kind of, well, I didn't know how much time I had. I wasn't even paying attention really. I was trying to I knew I was getting tight. I knew I had to pit soon, and I just wanted to just get in the pits. And then the 55 there, I think he just missed it, and I was just coming in a little hot. I had a good entry, and I didn't know he was pitting. He didn't call it out, which is okay. Mistakes happen. And yeah, it just ended up he missed it, and then I didn't want to hit him, so I tried to avoid him, and yeah, it is what it is.
So, heck of a run tonight, right? You get off of this concrete racetrack here at Dover. Next week we head to Kansas. Kansas is known for one of those high and wide style Larson line type tracks. Thoughts headed to Kansas?
So, in a couple different leagues, I've had very good luck there. So I feel very confident. But these guys here are really good. So I don't know what's going to happen. I am confident, but just got to be patient, got to take it, step by step. So we'll see what we can do, but we're going to hope for the best.
Well, John, I want to say congratulations on your race win. I'm certain you probably have a few people that you would like to give some thanks, maybe a shout out to. So toss them shout outs out, man.
Definitely Brian Souza. He, when we're in here together, we kind of we're on a team in a different league, and we just know each other really well, and we just combine very well. We work well together. So big shout out to him for walking me through strategy wise. I couldn't do a lot without him. So thanks to him, and thanks to the family. Appreciate everybody, and I appreciate you guys for putting these on. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely, John. Go enjoy that victory, brother. Enjoy it. Next week, we'll see you at Kansas.
Good deal. See you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you, bud. That was your race winner there. And, John, going into Kansas, that's got to develop some momentum for Jonathan Crosby.
Oh, 100%. I am so excited for Kansas. I love the high line tracks, and with the moves these guys are making, they're getting comfortable. I think we're going into week 6, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
these guys have had so much time to get comfortable with each other. I think we're for some 3 wide, good, clean racing here at Kansas next week.
Cody, final thoughts. What you seen here with Miles the Monster at the concrete Dover International Speedway?
Yeah, Brandon. I mean, listen, I'm smiling, right? If you think about it, 145 laps ago, we sat here and we said, tonight's about to be a wild night. And that is exactly what we saw, was a wild night. We saw some tough starts, some heavy cautions, a lot of lead changes, a lot of battling. But overall, we saw an incredible race this evening, man. So I couldn't be more pleased.
I couldn't either. As next week, we will head into the Heartland for a showdown at the Kansas Speedway. You know, Kansas is known for its wide racing surface, multi-groove action, and late race drama. I'm certain that Kansas is going to be one of those racetracks that's going to deliver for us here at the Rat Fink Racing League, as these drivers will battle 115 laps at that beautiful 1.5 mile speedway at Kansas. Well, for me and the boys up in the booth, that's going to be it for tonight. I hope you all have enjoyed the coverage of the Rat Fink Racing League Next Gen Cup Series, and we will see you all right back here next week when we bring you Kansas live from the Precision Racing Network.
Dover Motor Speedway, the concrete mile.
Go get them today. Long race.
This is one of the most physically challenged tracks that we have.
Battle all day.
Well, I'll tell you, these guys, a lot of drivers out here look exhausted. You look fresh as a daisy. Ready to go some more. Passed in the grass to take the lead. Dale, are we going to see a lot of excitement today in this Winston?
Yeah, I checked out the turf down there. It looked pretty good coming across the grass. I think we'll be all right.
Lead 193 of 400 laps. The American and checkered flags out at Dover. Earnhardt Jr. wins.
Gentlemen, start your engine. I don't know what you got, but give me everything.
It will chew you up, spit you out, punch you right in the nose.
And Tyler Walsh does set atop the points lead currently right now. Miles is itching to bite somebody, and we'll see who that somebody is when we are live again.